my hand here a Saorsat splitter. Okay, and basically the idea of this is that we would take a feed from a Saorsat Ka-band LNB, split it in two, and feed two different satellite receivers, allowing us to get different Irish channels off the Saorsat satellite on each one. Okay, so what I'm just going to do first of all is just look at a Ka-band LNB. The first thing you'll note on this, there's two outputs on it. So actually, if we wanted to feed two receivers, we could actually feed two cables directly from it. But if we wanted to split it further to, say, a third box, or only run a single cable in and split it afterwards, it's very neat and easy to split it with this particular splitter here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just look at how we'd set up this particular satellite dish outside. Well, this here would be a pretty typical setup. We have an 80 centimeter dish, a Ka-band LNB here in the center, which is picking up the Irish channels off the Eutelsat satellite, and then this LNB out here will be picking up off Astra 2, the BBCs and the FreeSat channels. Okay, normally then what you're using is something like this Disic switch, where we come along and we have two inputs on it. We have one feed coming from here into the Saorsat, into LNB1, and FreeSat BBC channels will go to LNB2, and then we have a single combined feed set up down this way. Now the ordering of these are very important because the satellite will be set up to expect certain channels from certain LNB inputs, okay? So it'll be programmed in conjunction with the Disic switch. So what we have here in front of us here is we have a Saorsat cable coming from a Saorsat satellite dish outside, feeding directly into this satellite receiver here. And if we just come along here, we can see anyway that the Irish channels are working fine on this, okay? If we went down as far as the BBCs, because we've no BBC satellite connected, it wouldn't work, but we could get around that using a Disic switch. So we just, if I wanted to flick down, I can come down and I can look at RT2 here. Okay, so what we want to test this splitter here, and we just want to see if we came along, disconnected the Saorsat satellite there, put it into this splitter. If we took a feed off of this splitter, would we be able to come along and split it to a second television, or split it? So what we'll do here is we come along, we've used the splitter now, and we need to take the output from this splitter, and we're just going to connect it directly into the back of the LNB in, where we had it directly connected before. And we'll just screw this in here, and we'll see that the system plugs in. Okay, so the next thing is it possible to take a second feed off of this splitter, we'll just connect it here again, and feed it to a second satellite receiver, which once again will be set up for Saorsat. So I'll just push this in into the LNB input here. We have it here, and now what I need to do is I need to simply come along and connect this satellite receiver to the television using this HDMI lead. So we can see this is actually on a different one, it's on TG-Car. So we have RT2 on this one, and TG-Car on the one, all feeding off a single satellite, all coming through this splitter. So it's quite interesting that we can do this, because normally with satellites, you cannot split the feed with it, but with the Ka-band one, coming off single transponder things like this, it is possible to split it currently. Now, another version of this would be the four-way here, which will allow you to split it up to the four different boxes at the one time. So that's it anyway, an overview of the two-way Saorsat splitter that's available on the tvtrade.ie website.